Okay, so we should be seeing it any second now over on Facebook Live. So squad, tell me if you see it pop up so I'll know that we're good to go and that I'm live. Okay. Hey, Tish. Hey, okay, y'all speaking. Okay, so let me share the screen. Okay, it's already recording. There it is. I see it on Facebook Live. Okay. I think I'm good over on Facebook Live. Somebody tell me if I'm not. Tish, I see Tiffany, Tish. Okay, so I think I'm good. All right, so let's get rocking and rolling. We are here for day 3, which is Own Your Genius. And like I was saying, this one is where we really start digging in. On the first day, I told you guys that I'm not interested in making celebrities. I'm really not interested in making celebrities. I'm interested in teaching people how to be effective in the media. And the things that we're going to cover today is the key, the foundation really of becoming effective in the media. Because if you don't get this, if you miss this, it's no good. I don't care if it's on the DIY level. I don't care if it's on the my top tier level, the Book My Media Tour. And here's how I know I'm up to something. When I know I'm going to teach something, it never fails. When I know I'm going to teach something that's game changing, all kind of hell breaks loose. So none of the reminder emails went out today. I found out about 7 minutes before I went live. None of the reminder emails went out. None of them. 3 were set to go. And so this is how I know that what happens for me is that somebody is getting ready to have a breakthrough, because I'm going to show you, I'm going to say some things and show you some things that you've never looked at it a certain way. And by the way, Reneka, I need you camera ready. She's going to kill me, but I need you camera ready. But if you just hang in there and trust me, that's why I didn't tackle this subject until today, because I needed you to trust me that I know what I'm talking about. But I'm really interested in heart-centered entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, and experts, people who want to leverage the media for their brand, their platform, so it could help more people. So in Zoom, if that is you, if you are ready to actually think differently, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, if you are ready to think differently, tell me I'm ready to think differently. Now, with that said, how many newbies do I have here? How many newbies? How many is your first day? And so I need to just maybe lay the foundation of who I am. Kim says I'm ready. I'm ready to think differently. Aria, I'm ready. I'm ready to think differently. Good. Okay. So is it anybody's first day? Anybody's first day here. Okay, so then I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time setting me up and introducing myself. I'm going to just hit it just for the replay for the people who may be coming along after. But before we get there, I want to make sure that you are in the right place. If you are new, you are in the right place. If you know you are the answer to somebody's prayer and you have a solution to someone's problem via your book, your business, or brand, you should spend time with me. If you have a business, book, or brand that you know can be a game changer for people, you should be spending time with me. If you've reached out to the media, and somebody posted in the Facebook group that we are live, so because the emails just didn't go out. The emails just didn't go out. You've reached out to the media and got nothing but crickets. You should be spending time with me this week. If you've been burned by publicists, that they've taken your money for months and you have no proof of where that money went, this is where you should be spending time. So I'm going to skip over that because I'm not sure if we have any new people, but My background is in Hollywood. I spent 20 years working on some of the biggest shows on television. This is not even scratching the surface on what I've done in my career, but pretty much I've spanned the gamut from everything from the TV show Extra to Bar Rescue to My Cat from Hell to Cars to The Incredibles. And pretty much I have forgotten some of the shows that I've done in the last 20 years. And then the next thing is I am comfortable in front of the camera. Even though I got to balance a lot of elements, I'm comfortable in front of the camera as long as I know what's going on. I'm comfortable in front of the camera because I've booked myself on outlets across the country, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, numerous radio shows, podcasts. So I understand what happens behind the camera. I have to understand what happens in front of the camera. And then I actually appeared on Fox News Channel for a book I hadn't even written yet and crushed the interview. And actually, we're going to cover that. I think, what's today? We'll cover that on Thursday, how to crush your interview. And then in 1 week, because of the principles that I teach here and in Media Mavericks Academy, in 1 week, I got a call from ESPN Radio, offer me a weekly segment, a spot on BET's new show called The Round for their sister network, Centric, but is now called BET Her. And then United Nations, an event that was going to be held at the United Nations, they reached out to me in 1 week, based on some of these principles. And then last night, I told you guys that I was the behind the scenes producer for Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish's new film, Night School. And then I rolled right out of that into the new Shaft with Sam Jackson, Richard Roundtree, and Jesse T. Usher, which was a freaking blast. So if nothing else, I know my stuff enough that there is media maverick domination going on. You heard from my maverick last night, Bernadette Harris, who said she has booked based in the short time that she's become a maverick. She's done 25 interviews that she booked herself. She's written two bestsellers. I forget which one it is. She wrote a book. And I mean, it was a plethora of things that have happened just as a result. But this media maverick domination, is just not, this screen is just a smidgen of what my Mavericks and I have done. And so you can spend time with me. You can do it yourself. You know, make the mistakes, blow your impression. You can hire a publicist, spend thousands and thousands of dollars, or you can listen to what TJ says and either work with me one-on-one or on the DIY level. It's your choice. Now, but what I do promise that for this week up in here, I'm going to show you how to rock the media with R. Reach the right media outlets for your business, your book, or your brand. Then I'm going to show you how to obliterate. I think that's what we're going to hit on Thursday, how to obliterate the traditional path to get to the producers. C, I'm going to show you how to crush your media interviews. Okay, no, R, no, we're hitting tomorrow. C, we're going to hit on Thursday, crush your media interviews. And last night, I kicked common publicity mistakes to the curb. Remember I said you don't need a publicist. A lot of people think they need a publicist. They think they need to be a celebrity. They think they need to have a huge following. They think they need to have tons of insider connections when in fact you're spending time, you're hanging out with the one insider connection that you need. So a few housekeeping rules that we didn't hit last night. So I wanted to make sure I hit them again today. So Tish is in YouTube. This is YouTube. Destiny is over on Instagram if you need me, because I can't see the screen. So they're there managing that. Reneka and myself are over in Facebook Live. So I think everybody's covered. But in order to have engagement and interaction, you mostly need to be in Zoom, and you just need to register for free at thenoisemakerchallenge.com, thenoisemakerchallenge.com. Or noisemakerchallenge.com. They go both to the same way. Don't forget, in order for you to qualify for the scholarship valued at $3,500, if you qualify for the scholarship into Media Mavericks Masters, you have to be registered so that you can get all the assignments of every day. I've been saying this for a minute. It has been the bane of my existence with this email situation, but you should whitelist coaching at ISeeMeOnTV.com. Hi, Amber. You should whitelist coaching at ISeeMeOnTV because Otherwise, I can end up in your spam, in your junk. Add it to your contact list to be safe, because for whatever reason, they're landing in, or in Gmail promotions. So make sure you look in Gmail promotions too. All your homework must be on the assigned threads by Saturday, August 4th at 11:59 p.m. PST. No exceptions. Hashtags are I am a noisemaker, hashtag noisemaker challenge. And then today I just added level up, because that's the movement right now that's happening with Sierra and her banging song. I like that song, level up. I love that song. Okay, so in the drawing, I needed to change the time because I realized I have a webinar to teach at the time that we were going to do the drawing, because I actually just changed that because I'm always in the moment. I'm organically changing things. So drawing will be on Sunday, August 5th at 2:15 p.m. Pacific, 4:15 Central, 6:15 Eastern. Every night here live. If you're in the Zoom, I randomly ask you to do something and I choose a winner every night. You just don't know when it's going to be happening. If you're having technical difficulties, okay, got it, Tish. If you're having technical difficulties, help me at MediaMavericks.tv. And so listen, guys, I'm going to be real honest and transparent with you. And this is something I want you to apply when you start getting out there and getting noise. I didn't have all my T's crossed and I's dotted when I launched Media Mavericks Academy. But when you're launching something, there are bound to be things you just couldn't foresee. So because it was my idea. When I first presented, let's do, this redunculous offer for this, we only did it live thinking, okay, it'll be great. And people jumped. So we were like, oh crap. And so Reneka ended up finding herself that she had to figure out how to partner people. So then when I decided to do it live, I really thought that y'all would just go find your partner, and make it happen. And Reneka ended up being my inbox ended up being inundated because people wanted partners. And I realized that a lot of you have stepped out on your own. You're out on the skinny branch, ready to take flight. So no one really around you can relate to what you're excited about, what you're going through. So it would be best if you find a partner who's just as excited about their new changes, what's happening in their lives at this moment. So that's when I was like, okay, team, we got to put something together. So anything new is going to have bugs. We got to work out the bugs, but know that my team is working feverishly behind the scenes to address every single tech issue, every single problem possible. But know that anytime, even when you start launching, anytime you launch something new, there's going to be stuff that goes wrong. Just like I told you, the email system, it didn't send out reminder emails today. And it's not like we got a cheap email system. We're on the Cadillac of, email systems. So I just want to thank you for anything that is happening that, may not be to your liking, or I'm not living up to the level of customer support that you really, really want. It really is. This was something new that we put in place. And when y'all start telling us this is what you want, I was like, okay, we got to go figure this out and put this in place. So with that said, I promise you, know that is going down, it's going to happen, and we're going to work it out. And then the last thing is keep a list of questions, because I haven't decided what day, but we're going to have some hot seat moments where, Michelle is with me. He says, trouble is the signal that something big is on the horizon. That's what I've been trying to say. Amber says, speaking of, and then on top of that, all of my normal emails, all of a sudden they just went into, Tish says the times are off on your slide. 2:15. Oh, okay. Yes, she's right. 2:15 Pacific, 4:15 Central, 5:15 Eastern. Thanks, Tish. See? But there were emails that all of a sudden my normal emails all ended up in junk. So I had tons of email messages that I didn't even know that I had because all of a sudden they appeared in junk. So I'm relating to you, Michelle, because that just happened like 4 days ago. And I'm still trying to catch up to everything. Amber says, I just had to add the email address manually. I still didn't get any emails. I made sure to post the assignment early. That's what I'm saying, Amber. We don't know. We honestly don't know. Denise has been working with Infusionsoft on the phone, wondering what is happening, why our emails are ending up in the abyss. So, but this is where, remember I said the last P of if you want to get high in media, you got to have persistence. That's kind of where this is coming in. See, I'm teaching real points in real time. How about that? All right. So what we're going to do next, you know that there's a live winner coming. I want 2 people. Put your clothes on. Put your clothes on. I want your aha moment from yesterday. And then we're going to talk about how to own your genius. We got the Maverick Spotlight coming. And then for the newbies, I'll let you know how you're going to get some TJ in your life. And then I am going to give you your homework assignments because they're going to be yummy. And Amber says, I'm sure she has. I used to get your emails faithfully a while back, and all of a sudden, poof, that's what I'm saying, Amber. I don't know. Yes, I do need you camera ready, Reneka. Everybody else heard that, right? So she gonna type it in like she didn't hear that. Yes, Reneka. Yes. I love the way she gonna type that in like I didn't, like I'm gonna change my mind. I said it at the very beginning, duh. Okay. Like everybody else heard me say that, right? All right, so this should be saying day 3, own your genius, but there you go. So who wants to come on for their aha moment? And I have figured out how to work this. So who wants to come on for your aha moment? Okay, ain't nobody got no aha moments y'all want to share? Really? From yesterday? Ashley, are you saying yes? Is that you, Ashley? Are you saying yes, you want to come on? Yes. Okay, so hold on. Kendra says, I have not been getting the emails with the Zoom link. Denise is over here telling me, when you get ready to bring on other people, you may need to make me a co-host to help you, but you probably got it. See how? Okay, Michelle, you'll be second. Ashley's first. All right, so I got to go make you a panelist. See, I'm learning. Okay, so it was Ashley, promote to panelist. Then I'm going to go get Michelle, and I'm going to promote him to panelist. Y'all gonna be surprised me. I think I fixed it. I learned what I was doing wrong. And then I'm gonna go over here to panelists, and then I'm gonna say, allow panelists to start video. Yep. And allow. Okay, so Ashley, you should be able to, don't embarrass myself. Come on. Let me stop the screen from sharing. Ashley, you should be able to come on video now. Don't make me look stupid, because I knew. There you go. I did it.
You did a good job. Great job. You did it.
I did it. All right. Okay, Ashley. You're up.
Hello. Well, my aha moment came from Bernadette, I believe, yesterday. And as she was sharing, she said she's going to get her money back. And all of that, and her whole talking about, everything that she does, and didn't talk to you for a while. And then finally she came up, listen, I have this going on, but I'm committing to this. And then this is what I'm going to start. And that just was like an aha moment that you got to really set realistic goals with yourself and at least commit yourself to trying and stepping out on faith one. And understanding that you can and you will achieve. And after she started the process and did every single thing, because like she said, she can get her money's worth, she definitely got her money's worth. And I really enjoyed Bernadette's testimony yesterday, because that was my aha moment, that you need to really commit to your goals to try and achieve what it is that you set out to do.
Yes. And I love the fact that she said she'd be willing to pay more. Now that she's on the other side, she'd be willing to pay more. And it's interesting, and this is something all of y'all should notice. People are always watching. Like she said, I had no idea. Reneka, you don't have to come on right now. You can close your camera up, not just yet. I'll let you go back. I had no idea until I sent out that email, to everybody. It was like, hey, Atlanta folks, you want to meet me for, dinner? And folks replied, folks I'd never met. And I'm meeting them for the first time. And Bernadette tells me how long she'd been following me.
Yes.
So understand that. People are always watching silently, never, ever commenting, liking. Let me tell y'all something. Thank you for that, Ashley. You can go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let me tell you something before Michelle comes on. Hold on, let me put her back. I got an email. Why is Reneka picture up there? I don't want Reneka picture. There we go. I got an inbox message from a Facebook friend asking me for my mailing address because she showed a picture of herself holding the new Jonathan McReynolds CD. Now, I love people, my Facebook friends, they know I love me some Jonathan McReynolds. He's like one of my very favorite artists. And this woman stood, y'all know I'm a crybaby. If y'all new to me, I'm a crybaby, so it don't take much to make me cry. But this woman, not only did she go see Jonathan McReynolds, she stood in line, bought a CD to then get it signed for me, sent me the message to say, we never talk. Essentially, I never say anything. I never comment on, but I have to tell you how you impacted my life. So when the opportunity came to do this for you, I know you already bought the album digitally, but I really wanted you to have the CD. Mind you, I had never met this woman, had never talked to her. So that goes back to what we talked about in day one. Folks are watching. I can't tell you the amount of people I meet out in public that will, timidly come up and go, hey, I'm TJ, I'm such and such. I'm one of, your Facebook friends. And I grab them in a big old hug, and it's like, I've never talked to them, nothing. So guys, know that you are making an impact. And that's why I'm so committed to what we're teaching today. Okay, so Michelle, my bad. Unmute you. Like Michelle, I ain't never talked to Michelle. This is the first time he supports my Tuesdays with TJ, where I'm really acting a nut. But this is the first time I'll be able to hear Michelle's voice.
Hey, how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Good. So my takeaway was the pick a niche and hit it hard. And one thing I've been working on, so I'm a photographer and I shoot a lot of different things. But like one of the things I shoot is plus size boudoir. And if I shoot smaller women, then it throws off my audience. It's like, well, what do you do? Do you do this? Do you do that? And if you do that, I don't know if I can necessarily trust you to work with me. So I kind of had to go back through my Instagram and clean up everything that wasn't consistent with my brand and get rid of it so that it's clear what I do. And now it's gotten to the point that when plus size things pop up, people contact me because I'm the guy that photographs plus size women. So when you have something and you focus on it, it focuses you in the eyes of other people.
I freaking love it. And you're going to know why by the end of this, why I love this so much. When did you clean up your social media?
Probably about 3 months ago.
Good.
Good. And I started, and then like I say, when people started saying things to me and sending me information, oh, here's a plus size show. Oh, here's this, here's that. I'm like, I'm the guy now.
You that guy, you that dude. Yep. So that's good, Michelle. And that's a perfect into just, I couldn't have said it better. I could not. Yes. Thank you. Because that's kind of where we're headed today. Thank you. All right. So, okay. Let me get back to sharing my screen. Y'all have good aha moments. Okay. Let me scroll to the bottom. Okay. So what we're going to expect for the rest of the day, I'm coming after your voice. I'm coming after your expertise, and I'm coming out to your genius. To be honest with you, I got an outline. I really don't know how this is going to go. I'm just going to be directed spiritually about who is here, who needs to hear this now and on the replay. So with that said, you have nothing to hide, nothing to protect, nothing to prove, and nothing to defend. If you're on Instagram, meet me over at the noisemakerchallenge.com. This is where I really can focus and see any questions, concerns you have. But this is a safe space. So everybody, right now, I want you to take off your cape. You get to take off your cape because I'm the only one in this setting who's going to be the expert. You get to take off your cape and let me pour into you. I'm sure there are many times where you are pouring into people. You get to take off your cape now because I'm going to come after your voice, your expertise, and your genius. So yesterday, can I move forward and get started with the Media Maverick ahead, or do I have to wait until August 16th? No, Cornelia, you should have gotten an email immediately that gave you access to the 2017 program, and then you can start with the class on August 16th. All right, so we talked yesterday, as Mache hit on it, we talked about niching it down and deciding where you fit, how to enter the market, because you want to go for the logos. Remember, we talked about go for the logos, go with what's going to get you booked quicker, sooner, faster. Then I introduced you to Evangelina Hemphill, where she went into the market as an engineer that was doing a government contract. She was doing a conference about how one government contract can put you in the black. She then doubled back and went and did a relationship segment in February. I told you about if you want to get high and media, you hit a dose of PCP. Your platform needs to be in place. There has to be somewhere for the people to go after they experience you so you can serve them, because we serve people over these parts. Then you have to have the confidence. I'm not talking about the nervousness, but the confidence in that you are a game changer. You are a change agent. You are a misfit that is crazy enough to believe that you have something the world needs that can change the game. And then the persistence, because I said to you, booking yourself in the media is simple, but it ain't easy. I've built a simple process. So noise, own your genius. Own your genius. Now, before, you've heard me say, I am a beast in the media streets. You've heard me say it quite a bit. M says, does platform equals website? Yes. Or somewhere, more than email. It needs to have somewhere for you to go. But in Media Mavericks Masters, I teach you exactly what needs to be in place at the bare minimum to really be effective in the media. So before I was the beast in the media streets, my shrinkage was real, and I'm not really talking about my hair, but the Black women here can relate to how it is a drastic difference in our shrinkage. And so even though it's almost like I'm a contradiction, you know, when I was in high school, I wanted to take you back to high school. When I was in high school, I was bold out there because I get it from my dad. My dad is just a gregarious, outgoing, bubbly, you know, he was, because I lost my biological father when I was 8. But I'm told I'm just like him, that I just always have, you know, had that kind of personality. But when it came to my accomplishments, when it came to the things that I'm good at, I would shrink. Case in point, when I graduated high school, I graduated with tons of scholarships. I even was the first Black in my city to earn the Walmart Foundation scholarship. So during the graduation, as opposed to they didn't just list my scholarships, they kept having me stand up, sit down, stand up and sit down. So it got to the point where I was feeling like people were looking at me and thinking, oh, she thinks she all that. Come on, I'm talking about that day. I'm talking about that day. See, I'm going to always lead you and tell you my story so you can find yourself in it, because I know I'm not the only one. But I would keep just shrinking. It got to the point I didn't even stand up anymore until I caught a glimpse of my mother. Hey, Jay, is that my Jay Stone? I caught a glimpse over at my mother, and my mother was like, stand up. And you know, who got mamas like that? You know, it's like all she did was mouth that. And I was like, okay. And so I stood up because I'm sure in her eyes, she knew her child had worked for this. And she knew the blood, sweat, and tears that she had put in to making sure that I was on my P's and Q's of what I needed to be. So for her, my mother, let me tell you something. My mother didn't let me bring any trophies with me. All of my trophies are still at my house in Tennessee because my mother was like, those are my trophies. I earned them just as much as you did. You just can have the memories. You can have them when I'm gone. And so my brother, none of my trophies are at my house except one. She let me keep the one I won with my best friend who ended up passing. But that's how I'm sure that she felt. Now, when I got older, I went on to Howard and I started working in television. And this is my mom. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, this is the star of the Mama Chronicles. And for the Instagram, the Mama Chronicles are my series of posts of the crazy stuff my mama does because my mama is a hoot. And okay, Tish says my camera angle on IG. Okay, Tish, I can't do nothing about it. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Tech, just look at me sideways. Is that better? How about that? Because it's not sideways on my end because I can see it. So I started making money and I was getting close to 6 figures. And my dream car was the Lincoln Navigator. It had just come out in like 2000. Or no, it had just come out in 97, 98, something like that. Just come out. Anybody had that kind of car where you just know that's my car? That's my car. So when it first came out, I mean, and plus I'm living in Hollywood. So, you know, it's celebrities and all this, but that was my car and I could afford it. I finally could afford it. This, you know, $50,000 car, however it was. And I kept talking to my mother back and forth about it. And guess the kind of questions that would come up. Well, Mom, I don't want to pull up somewhere and people think that I'm stuck up or, you know, they look at me, you know, kind of like, oh, who she thinks she is. I'm telling you, I used to have the bad case of the days. Come on, somebody. I used to have the bad case of the days. And I would have these conversations with my mom. And I mean, I would just go back and forth like, Mom, should I get it? Should I spend the money? Should I get it? And my mom would be like, you should get it. And so one day I was like, you know, if I pull up, people gonna be like, oh, what's she doing in that bad car? And my mother was like, fool, it's gonna be bad. Whether you pull up in it or it pull up by itself, it's gonna be bad. And so that's still, Amber says, wow, when you're the only one as far as something, kind of like in church with mama mouth, what you better, yep, Jay says, I love your mom. So at one point I had worked her last nerve, her very last nerve. And so finally she just yelled at me. She was like, Tony, I tell you what. And so I'm thinking she can give me a good solution to this problem I'm having about pulling up in this bad vehicle. She goes, here's what you're going to do. You're just going to go to the store and buy you a bicycle because I'm sick of listening to you. And so I was like, okay, Mom, I'm going to get the car. Now, does that sound like anybody? I wanted to lay that foundation before I was the beast in the media streets. And even then, even when I started Media Mavericks, I was so timid. I was so timid about the results that I could create. So even if you hear me say I suck at a lot of things, I'm even actually making sure on a low-key level that I'm still leveling myself. I suck at a lot of things. I got issues over here, but this one thing I'm a beast at. Jay says, that's on me, but you know what? I'm tired of worrying about what they think. Margot says, I feel you. That's my Bible. Okay, I know where that's from. But that is, I wanted to lay that foundation so y'all don't think that I just woke up like this. I'm cute and all, but I didn't wake up like this. I had to grow into this. I had to decide. And so that's what we're going to get into, that this was all before I became the beast in the media streets. And even when I actually started getting results, I still was kind of downplaying my skills. And so I still, Lisa Nichols, some of y'all know Lisa, she's my coach. Let me tell you this last thing. This is the last story I want to tell you so you can connect the dots. High school, starting my career as an editor, now here. When I had my first encounter with Lisa, I've known Lisa for 20 something years. I knew her before she was Lisa Nichols. And I enrolled in her global leadership program. And my first time there, mind you, part of my story is I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. And God actually had me, pull me out of this. And so I'm sitting there, I'd written this book, or I was in the process of writing this book. And all I've ever wanted to be was be a TV editor. I didn't want to be anything else. And so I'm standing there, I'm in this room, because God had whispered to me, I want you to enroll in this program. Okay, fine. But I'm standing there mad at God because I'm like, I don't know why I'm here, because these people are talking about creating programs and putting on conferences, and they're talking about serving the world, and I'm sitting there going, I'm just a TV editor. Pick that up now. Pick what I just set up, because it's going to pay off later. I'm just a TV editor. I don't have anything that people want. I don't have anything that's useful to the people that's in this room. Come on now. Come on, pick that up. I'm going somewhere with this later. Stick with me. I'm not telling y'all these stories just for the sake of telling them. I'm telling you because it can be real for you. So I'm standing there and we break for lunch. And I walk past some of my classmates and I hear them talking about them doing videos. Now catch this. I'm a video editor. I'm a TV editor. And I know video. I know TJ. I know TJ. I was reading my name. I know TV. And so I'm walking by and something tells me like, no, you should tell them that's not right. You should tell them that's not right. And so I don't know if Mathina is somewhere in here, because Mathina, I don't know if Mathina was there to witness, and Monakia. And so I'm sitting there and I walk up to them and I'm telling them and I'm explaining, and I'm really into whoever I was talking to. I think I was talking to Monakia, and I'm explaining. And so I'm just into them, but telling them what they should do, how to make it better. Here's what you can consider, do this, do that. And I look up and there's like 10 people around me taking notes. And then I'm like, what are y'all doing? And they're like, you teaching, I'm writing. And I just broke. And Monakia, one of them was like, we told you because I had already told them, like, I don't feel like I have anything to give y'all. I feel like I'm cheating y'all. I feel, because I don't have anything to give. Y'all, I'm receiving so much. And they were like, we told you had something to give. So I became the resident global leader video person, to the point where Lisa, until she got this whole video, I would always be the one responsible, for Myra says, we forget the things that come easy to us are actually valuable to others. Come on now, I'm coming down your street. And so that's when I started seeing that thing that I actually was a just. I'm like, okay, people need this. So that's why I'm coming down your street. That's why I'm spending time here. That's why this module is different than anything else. Because if y'all don't get this, you won't be effective. Not working with TJ. You can go and, get you a coach that's going to teach you all about being a celebrity. That ain't what we do. Not in Media Maverick land. That's why I'm spending time over here, to come for your voice, to come for your expertise, to come for your genius. All right. Tish, you're going to be up. I want y'all to tell me, what have you been just downplaying? What have you just thought that, no, nobody want this? I'm just, and then fill in the blank. What is that for you? Fill in the blank. I'm just, fill in the blank. Okay? So while y'all doing that, Tish, you'll give me the winner later. I want to know, are you scared to be an expert? Ashley says, I'm just little old me. Aria says, my coaching service. I'm just a podcaster, Margot says, a communicator. Michelle says, I'm just honest about my singing. Aria says, I'm not scared to be an expert. Anybody scared to be an expert or have not embraced? Jay says, I'm just a country girl with no real skills. I'm just Rhonda. I say that all the time. Yup, me. I want to serve in my expertise. Gotcha. So how many of you have had, T says, I'm just a wife who lost her husband to suicide. Oh, Timo, I'm sorry. I'm just always the woman who's always be stuck in struggle. Yep, I'm feeling you. So I want you to know, this is for, those are for the people who are going to have the chance to win the I Am a Noisemaker shirt. Okay. Kendra, I've been downplaying how I can be a blessing to the world. I feel like I'm just a divorced mom of 3 who would really listen to me. Ah, good stuff. So in your lane of genius, how long, whether it's been earned by your education or it's been acquired by your life experience, 5 years, how long you been in it? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, says Rhonda. Reneka says, I feel like I'm over here cutting up onions. Zakia says, all my life, 10 years. I've been in my field 30 years, says Jay. 36 years. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that goes up in your head. Now, believe it or not, one of my coaches had to walk me through owning my expertise. See, guys, I'm laying a foundation of before I was a beast in the media streets. And this is when I was teaching reality TV. And how to get cast, how to do a show. And so we were at a conference. Elizabeth is in the chat. She will tell you, because Elizabeth was there. We're in this big room. I stand up and I introduce myself and I ask a question. I forget what the question was, but it led me down the path of him realizing I didn't own my expertise. And so he said, Tish, how long have you been doing what you're doing? And I said, I think that time it was like 15 years. He's like, okay. So do you think, he's saying you've done some big shows, right? And I was like, yeah. And he said, so do you think that you could help Paul in Iowa? I don't remember if that's the name he was before the story. Just go with, it's Paul. Do you think you could help Paul in Iowa get on, the Survivor? I was like, well, I can't guarantee him. And so he realized that that's where I was being stuck. I was looking for a guarantee. And he said, Chadell says, I'm glad you said one of your coaches. Yeah, I got a lot of coaches. And he said, well, if Paul's dream is to be on Survivor, don't you think you can help him increase his odds? He lives in Iowa or Idaho. I forget what he said. And I was like, well, duh, yeah. He's like, so you do know more than Paul, right? It's like, yeah. And would you want to help Paul? Yeah, of course I want to help Paul. I want to use my expertise to help someone. And he goes, so in essence, you know enough about reality television to help Paul increase his odds of landing on the show. Hey, Roz, my HU classmate, Roz says, I see you still giving your best to others. Yes, Roz, that ain't gonna never stop, honey. He said, yeah, he said, well, Tish, you're an expert. You know more than the people that you are helping. That's what an expert is. As long as I know more than the people I'm called, I'm the expert to them. Rhonda says, come on, that's what it's all about, helping them increase the odds to beyond what they can do on their own. So I'm coming down your street, Jay. I'm afraid to affirm my expertise. I'm going to tell you how you do it. Y'all ready? I'm going to tell you how I turned the corner. When I boiled down, drilled down how I turned the corner, I had to find my voice. That's how I turned the corner. I had to find my voice. What does that look like? Y'all know I'm the queen of acronyms. I first had to vacate the condo of comparison. I'm going to say that again for IG. I had to vacate the condo of comparison, meaning I can't be paying attention to what these people are doing. I can't get so caught up in what other people are doing in their social media lives where I'm only seeing the highlight reel. And for those of you on Instagram, you can come over to the noisemakerchallenge.com, register, and it will give you access to the Zoom. Facebook, the same thing. If you want to have access to the Zoom where you have questions or want to engage, come over. Tish, you can post the link in Facebook, how to get into the Zoom. But you got to vacate that thinking. You have to, or you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to wake up every day feeling unaccomplished and like you're just slow at what you're doing. Your process, your lane is yours. Your race is yours. You have to run your race at your pace. I'm guilty of it too. I got to sometimes check out from social media because it'll have me thinking like I ain't accomplished nothing, as opposed to I've created a program where people are actually paying me to show them what's in my brain. I'll forget that. I'll forget the life-changing things that happen in clients like Bernadette's life if I stay focused on comparing myself to somebody else. You have to vacate the condo of comparison. You got to just buy. Then you have to own your mistakes, own your mishaps, own your failures. I laid the foundation. I told y'all where I came, where the shrinkage is real. That was for a purpose of you seeing. I'm here owning my mistakes. In Mavericks who are here, know that. I always tell them, I'm teaching you from my mistakes. That's why in Masters, I'm going to tell you how I blew a pitch and still got booked. The Masters is built around a lot of the mistakes that I made, but I own it because I know I'm going to be talking to some people who need to relate. Come on, mom of divorce with 3. Who was that? You have to own your mistakes because they didn't stop you. That was just a chapter in the whole book of your life. So own it because people are waiting for it. You can't hide them. And then the other thing that I did to find my voice is I had to institute quiet. I had to institute quiet, meaning I had to settle the noise around me. I had to settle what was going on outside my environment so I can get in tune with what God's voice was, or whatever you want to call your higher power. But I had to institute quiet. That's why there's sometimes I would just check out. I told y'all the other day, I didn't think I was making an impact and God had already led me to step back. And so I disappeared without telling anybody off of social media for 3 weeks. And the only reason why I kind of came out is Reneka was like, your people, they worried about you. Some say something to them. They've noticed you're gone. But that was me instituting my quiet. And then C, I had to finally conclude, it ain't about you, boo. It ain't. It ain't about you, boo. It's the people that need what you have. It's the people that actually will make you get out of bed because you are so committed to helping them. You see, once you decide and you settle, that's why I had you do that answered prayer. Remember that? See, everything is strategic. Once you settle, you are somebody's answered prayer. And once you settle, you have the solution for somebody's problem. You get over yourself. You figure out, I'm called to help people. And you have to realize that, and I think it was Myra that said it earlier, People are losing sleep over what you can do in your sleep. I'm going to say that for the people on Facebook because I don't think Zoom heard me. People are losing sleep, IG. People are losing sleep over what you can do in your sleep. You got to get over yourself. Yes, Miss Lorraine, you got to get over yourself. People are stressed out. People are losing sleep. People are having almost their marriages are destroyed because you won't go find your voice and go help somebody. This is the beginning of you finding your voice. Aria says, I'm in tears over here. I told y'all, I warned y'all ahead of time, get the tissue. I told y'all, get the tissue because I knew somebody hasn't told you this. The people around you, they don't necessarily know this. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But you got to conclude it ain't about you. It is about who you are called to serve. And then finally, told y'all we were going somewhere. You have to eliminate the just and embrace the must. Remember when I said, I'm just a video. Remember when I said, I'm just a video editor. Remember when I said, those people, I didn't think I had anything to give. I didn't think I had anything worthy that could help somebody. I was speaking someplace and a woman came up to me and afterwards she said, I wish, I had your personality and wish I could be, like you are, but I'm just good at making people feel comfortable. I have great hospitality. And I stopped her. I was like, listen. I said, listen, you got to understand something. You got to understand that this personality that you can see, there's a whole force behind her making sure she can do this. Firsthand, Reneka, I'm going to bring you on camera. Firsthand. Reneka didn't know I was going to do this. It hit me in the shower that I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Bring yourself on camera, Reneka.
Oh, okay.
So Reneka is the yin to my yang in more ways than y'all know. Denise is kind of my yin to my yang. And so I have a team. I'm a creative. And Reneka and I have had many conversations about this. Reneka used to downplay her gift.
Oh.
Reneka is all strategy. Reneka is, and I used to, in our early working together, I would just dump all of my ideas on Reneka. And next thing I know, I got a spreadsheet, I got a document where that thing is segmented out. There's notes on my calendar when we're going to address it. But Reneka was living in her just. She didn't realize that was a skill set that people like me need. Same thing with Denise. Denise would be absolutely mortified if I asked Denise to come on camera right now. She would cuss me out 20 ways to Sunday because she likes staying in the background. She likes solving problems. She likes working on Infusionsoft and she loves that stuff. But I'm the face. But understand the only reason why, and as she's inboxing me, I'm glad you know me. See, I told you. So she'll communicate in the chat and everywhere, but she's not gonna want to come on and do this. But here's the thing, we're all necessary. You noticed last night, some of y'all saw somebody got it in the personal message. I was trying to help somebody in the inbox. I forget who it was. Reneka jumped in my inbox, spoke directly to the person and say, leave TJ alone because she will stay in this inbox. But I need her to check out. Remember, I posted last night, she had banned me from the group and she banned me out of my inbox. That's Reneka. It's my job to show up and deliver my heart. It's Reneika's job to make sure the systems, it's Reneika's and Denise's job to make sure the strategies are in place. Y'all don't see my other back end people. You don't see my Tinas and my Claire. There's a machine around me so I can be here and show my heart. But understand, Reneika is needed. That's why I don't bat an eye when I tell her, you know, she the boss of me. If Reneika can't say I don't do it. So Reneika, I wanted to bring you on for you to speak to the people who relate to, they thinking they're sitting on, and we're not gonna be long. And I already told y'all, I don't know how long we're gonna go, but I just know that this is necessary. So give me 3 minutes, Reneika. Just bear with me because I know you still want to get back to strategy and be in the, but tell them what it's like to really, for somebody to see you and see what you're gifted at. And actually what we had to do for you to speak the language so that people like me could actually see you. I need to go get power. Well, I can hear you. I need to go get my power cord while I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. So, so first and foremost, can y'all hear me? I'm not the crier. So just know that. I almost messaged her saying like, do I really have to come on camera? But, I figured she would tell y'all on me. So I'm definitely the person who likes to be in the background. And I don't even know where to really begin because I have said that to her on multiple occasions when she thinks something's a big deal that I do or I accomplish for her. And I'm like, it was just that little thing. Like, is that all you needed? Like, it was just like, it's just numbers, or it was just a spread, like whatever it is. I was that just person. And sometimes I catch myself doing it because it comes so naturally for me. And it's how I'm wired. And, it is hard for me to tap into emotion. I'm gonna be straight up about that because when I do, that's really a mess. So this moment for me is really endearment because it's really a moment of endearment and the sheer love that I have for TJ and this company and being on this team and being able to be in my own lane. And rarely does TJ ask me to step outside of my lane. And I'm not the crier. I had to look, y'all, I said I was getting Kleenex. This is all I got, you know? And so it's like, anyway, TJ rarely asked me to play outside my lane, which is what I absolutely love. I wasn't sharing so much publicly that I'm strategy. Like anything that stands in the way of you and your money and your company is my enemy. And it frustrates me. It upsets me if anything's wrong with systems, processes, whatever it is, because my goal is to get people like TJ and business owners to the money as soon as possible. But I hide that sometimes because sometimes I feel like it's hard for people to talk about the things that people don't want to cry about. Like, I don't want to be at these conferences crying, passing the Kleenex boxes. I just want to help you get ish done. I don't even want to talk about the fluffy stuff most days. So I'm happy to be behind the scenes because most people I feel like wouldn't like me in front of the camera because I'm not the unicorn. And God has blessed me with all these unicorns in my life. And TJ, who's super creative, but I am definitely the person who is about the numbers, the strategy, the processes, the systems. And if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense to me. And so
we have to balance each other out because I'm about the experience. What do I want the people to, even with us trying to figure out what I wanted to give away. She wasn't on board with it, the idea at all. Not at all. And I had to whisper a prayer like, okay, God, she didn't like the first idea. So can you help me come up with something? So she forced me to go back and create something that actually made more sense. And that's why I'm saying you are needed, regardless of what your lane. I'll let you go, Renee. You can go hide.
Okay, bye. Oh, bye.
But regardless of what your lane is, understand that you are needed. That was the whole point. I really wanted you to see for yourself, not just my story, because I was married to someone who was abusive, and he tried to steal my light, my unicorn rainbows. I mean, he came for that. I had to settle on, no, this is who I am. This is who God created me to be. What is that for you? You have to own that. What is that for you? So going forward, you got to eliminate your just and embrace the must. And there's nobody who's going to come through and officially declare you an expert. So for all the people that we just talked to, we saw in the chat, you got 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years experience in this lane. I, TJ Mercer, now deem you the expert. Is that what you need now, to call yourself an expert so you can go find your voice for the people who need you, for the people who are losing sleep over what you can do in your street and do in your sleep, okay? So when you're actually doing this, when you're doing a TV interview, you don't have time to give it to them all. You have to do what I call drill down your genius. And drill down your genius simply means for that interview, for that time, you are just going to give essential nuggets, insights, uses, and systems. If you're on IG, meet me over at the Noisemakerchallenge.com, because I think it's going to end shortly. So the Noisemakerchallenge.com. So you have to declare, start typing in the chat, I am an expert. Own that. It's time, because when you own that, you know that when you're speaking, you just give essential nuggets, insights, uses, and systems. I got 20 years in the game. There's a whole 10-week program coming for some of y'all. Whole 10-week program coming. And you're only going to be, I'm only at this window and this time, I can only give you essential nuggets, insights, uses, and systems. That's it. I love this. I'm an expert. I'm a genius. I'm an expert. And so when and Myra said it earlier, that's why I'm loving that y'all planting the seeds. This was one of my very first Mavericks, Daryl. He's a celebrity wedding coordinator. And when I was telling him, I want to see some Instagram videos, take us around your journey, your life, he didn't understand that. And so that's what gave me the concept that we are so close to our genius that we don't even realize it's valuable. So I had to break it down into do me a video of how to choose the right bouquet of flowers for different seasons, or what questions you should ask the venue before you decide on your wedding venue. And it clicked because he does that so easily. He does that without thinking that he didn't even realize that it's of value. So then I want to speak to the people who are saying, yeah, I kind of like TJ. I don't want to do media. I don't know if Anita's here. I don't know if they're floating around the chat. But Anita Washington, one of my Mavericks, straight out, I don't want to do media. But God told me I'm supposed to be around you. So she invested in Media Matters Masters. She was clear. I don't want to do media. But when I got to know her, when I was teaching the class live, Anita is an incredible mind, politics-wise. And she would write these amazing posts about just giving opinions. And I would be like, this woman is dope. But she didn't want to do media. But she ended up having to go find her voice. And as a result, that led to her doing Facebook Lives. Oh, wait, hold on. I skipped ahead of myself. This is Stacy. This is Stacy Pierce, another one of them. I don't want to do media. Stacy is a photographer. I don't want to do media. Stacy invested in 2 programs with me. Stacy is the one that did not do any of the program, yet she showed up for the webinar Q&As. And I kept, when she was like, I don't want to do media, I was like, Stacy, you do realize that's what the program is? Yeah, I know. I was like, you understand, I'm not giving you a discount because you don't want to do media. It's the program. She's like, I know. And she didn't do not near one of her assignments. Not near one of her assignments. My screen is black. Somebody said my screen is black. Erica says my screen is black. Is my screen black? Okay, all right. I didn't think so because I see it all over the place. So Erica, you may have to go in and go out and come back in. So you should be seeing Anita and Stacy is who you should be seeing, Erica. So Stacy didn't want to do media. Next thing I know, Stacy is doing Facebook Lives. She's making so much noise that clients now are actually flying her in to do their photography because she found her voice. She hung around people who were like-minded. She hung around people who saw her genius and wouldn't let her play small. She hung around people like me who was like, no, I'm coming for your genius. I'm coming to bring you out. And then finally, this is Tawana. Tawana is known as Tawana is known as the LinkedIn professor. Tawana is an extreme introvert. And until like 5 years ago, you can find her face anywhere online at all. And I was like, you got to do what you got to do. I was like, but start small. You know, because here's the thing. You can start behind your computer screen with your notes. So do a radio interview. But also, Tawana, if you're telling me that you hate when people are leaving money on the table over at LinkedIn, then what are you doing? You can put them out of their misery and their suffering, and you're not. So between them, I told you, Anita, I just took a screenshot. These are all her videos. This is just one page. This is all her videos. This is a woman who didn't want to be on camera. These are her videos of what she's been doing because why? She found her voice. Stacy, nothing but videos. The woman who said, I don't want to do media. Nothing but videos. Killing it. Tawana messed around, did an interview for C-Suite TV and ended up becoming one of the top 5 highest rated episodes of that series. Somebody who didn't want to do media. Because here's the thing, y'all, when you find your voice, you then start getting the power and the strength to step up because you know people need you. All right, so I want to bring on Elizabeth. Elizabeth, where are you, baby? Elizabeth. I'm getting good at this now. I'm getting good at this. Okay, now. There we go.
Hello.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, honey.
Good to see your face.
Good to see you too.
So, Elizabeth, or
yes,
Liz.
ma'am.
So Liz won. I told y'all about Liz yesterday. Liz was the one who had paid for her class and ended up messing around, went beast mode in the challenge, and she won the scholarship. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Liz, for them. Set the stage.
Okay, so my background is healthcare, and I, at the time when I took the media challenge, I owned a gym in a small town in Alabama, but I really wanted to branch out and begin doing something that was going to be more online based, where I could increase my client base and such. And TJ and I met, I don't even know, 100 years ago at that publicity summit.
This is the event that I told you a story about. That's the Liz that was in the room.
Yep. And actually, I was going to tell that story if you didn't tell it, because I got to tell y'all, everybody that was in that room could see TJ's genius, I think, except for TJ.
Come on. I know I ain't the only one that has happened to. Come on, chat. I ain't the only one that's happened to. Everybody else around you can see it, but you won't own it. Go ahead.
Yep. And so anyway, so I had met her all that time ago, and I followed her on Facebook. We were friends on Facebook. And when I saw what she was doing, I'm like, okay, well, TJ is the person to teach me what I need to know. And so what I really, for me, I was great at what I did, and I was really comfortable in what I did. But anyone who knows me can tell you that brevity is not my strong suit. So I can explain things so you can understand it, but I couldn't do it in a media bite. Mm-hmm. And so for me, my biggest issue was I needed to understand how to make things concise, little bite-sized nuggets. And so that's really why I came on. And I am totally type A. I'm a good student. I am 48 years old, and yet I still want the teacher to be proud of me. So, I did the challenge last year, and I was all in, and the night that I won was one of those nights where you knew God had taken care of me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if TJ remembers, I cried like a baby when I won. I was so proud of myself. I worked really hard, but it was just this beautiful divine moment. And so then after that, I signed up. I took the class, obviously. If you guys are hesitating, I can't even tell you what a difference it will make in your life. And
so let's back up. Let's back up, because one of the things that I remember is, which is going to be one of their assignments tonight, and that Michelle touched on. Were you on when Michelle was on telling us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you know what assignment I'm talking about?
Tell me which one
I told you, when the assignment that's coming up, guys, is assignment called "What Are You Tagged In?" And I remember that being a huge aha for you. Mm-hmm. That the thing that you were coming to the challenge to try to make some noise about, no one knew that you were a genius in this.
Okay, so yes, I was actually thinking about this. So, like I said, I had worked in healthcare. I owned a gym. People were very used to talking to me about fitness and about nutrition, but really my area of expertise in my lane is about spiritual healing and health, and the interaction between physical health and your spiritual health, because the two things are intricately connected. And so as we're doing this, one of my girlfriends said, she sent me a message and said, you've got these 5 pillars of health that you talk about, but I only ever see you posting about nutrition and fitness, and there's 3 other pillars. When are you going to talk to us about that? Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh, right, that. And so now, can I tell them what I'm doing now?
Absolutely.
So now, because of TJ, and I should preface by saying one of the other things that we had to do during the challenge week was we had to post a Facebook Live. Oh my goodness.
They don't know that that's coming, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, we had to. I can't guarantee you're going to have to. We had to. And what I discovered, I had been a motivational speaker for several years. So for me, going and talking in front of a group was a no-brainer. It was fabulous. It was where I would feed off the energy of the crowd and blah, blah, blah. This little dot that I'm talking to right now to talk to y'all, yeah, I wasn't used to that. Like, that was freaking to me. I'm like, what? There's no people. There's no eye contact. How in God's name am I going to do this? It was the most awkward thing that I can even describe to you. Okay. But I did it because TJ made me, and I did it.
And she was trying to win that scholarship.
I was. And I can tell you that today I posted my 24th episode of my daily solution. My company's name is Total Health Solutions. And so every Tuesday and Thursday, I do a episode of my daily solution where I talk about just real life ways that you can implement spiritual health in your day-to-day life. And I would never be able to do that if it weren't for TJ. And I even took a break for a few months when I had 2 of my dear aunts passed away, and I really just couldn't quite do it. And so I took a little break, and then I went to my 30th high school reunion. And that night, everybody kept coming up to me going, oh my God, I love your videos. Oh, I watch them all the time. They're so inspirational. When are you going to start?
Wait. What did I say at the very beginning? People are always watching.
They're always watching. And I went in my Media Maverick groups and I said, Coach was right. Guess what? They really are always watching. And so I started doing them again. And that very first day I came back, that video was shared 15 times and had over like 2,500 views, something like that. And it was just this beautiful affirmation that people are watching. And, and so if you have any fear about doing it, get over yourself, because people really they really do need to know what you know how to do. Mm-hmm. And you'll find your people. You'll find your tribe will find you.
You make
And
enough.
those people are the ones you're serving.
Yeah. So tell me, Liz, first of all, the tagging thing, it's one of those, I just remember you being so awakened that no one knew when there was an assignment also of name the 3 things that people say about you. That was the one. I'm confusing the 2. It was that one. And you realize that the thing that you really wanted them to know, they didn't know.
Yeah.
And so for your homework, that I'm gonna run down the homework after at the end. I'm gonna run down the homework. But one of your assignments is going to be thinking about, what are you tagged in? If you're not tagged in the thing that you want to make noise about, then you're doing something wrong. There is not a PR question post, media post that goes down and some of my people see it that I'm not tagged multiple times. If they're looking for a publicist, if they're trying to get on the show, I am tagged multiple times. Why? Because I have found my voice, I own my genius, and I make noise about it. You get it? You got to find your voice, you got to own your genius, and you got to make noise about it. Got that? Because people really are watching. And so they're good. So when Michelle said, that's why I love what Michelle said. He didn't even know we were headed this way. When Michelle went back, because one of your other assignments is go through and clean up your social media.
Yeah.
That's one of the other assignments, clean up the social media, just like Michelle did. When he realized that he don't have enough posts where he wants to, that people weren't being confused about who he is, and now he's that guy, that's what you're going to have to do. My social media, my Facebook is a hodgepodge, but I make enough noise about my media skills that people still know, okay, she's going to talk about her mama. She's going to talk about her niece and her nephew. She's going to talk about her future, dear future hubby and his shoes. And she's going to talk about being petty. That's what she's going to talk about. So what would you say, Liz, has been your key transformation in this last year? Of pre-media maverick to now who you are now?
Well, it's really interesting. I think maybe, and it might surprise even you, but for some of the people watching, and particularly maybe for the ones that aren't so sure they're quite ready yet for media, because here's the thing. Everything that I learned with TJ, I own it forever. I have it forever. Now, have I done media? Yes. I've been interviewed on Parent Talk TV twice out of Orlando. I'm booked on LA Talk Radio coming up in September. I'm doing media. But you know what else I'm doing? I'm still doing my speaking engagements. I'm still doing my Facebook Lives. And the way that I structure things, the way that I make those manageable for people to consume, a lot of that came directly out of TJ teaching us what you need to do in order to do a pitch, what you need to do once you're on camera, what you only have 4 minutes to get this point across, girl, you better have your non-negotiables.
Yeah.
And to this day, I know, because I took this class, what time of day I need to make a certain phone call. And I'm not allowed to tell you because that's secret sauce.
Right,
but
that's secret sauce.
I own that forever. So even if you're like, well, I'm not sure, you know what? You're never going to feel ready. Just jump. Go ahead and leap. It will inform and it will enhance everything you do. Now,
exactly. And that's a byproduct that I didn't. Several Mavericks have communicated that to me. And that was a byproduct is that the word I'm trying to look for?
Yeah, it is.
It's a byproduct of what I didn't expect. I didn't set out to plan for that, but as one person called me and said, you like the coach's coach. Like, you teach us how to actually hone our message. So in a 30-second, network event pitch, I know how to get my message across. And it really is
exactly
an unintended, that's what I was trying to say, an unintended byproduct that I'm noticing is, a through line between y'all.
Well, even too, TJ, even if you're interested in writing a book or something like that, one of the things that helped me was as we began to have to practice writing our pitches, like that's a chapter. This is a chapter. This is a chapter. This is a chapter. And all of a sudden, you have this concept that you can turn into anything that can then create viable income for you. And that's huge. And that's a testament to what you taught us when we were in the 10-week class. Yeah. And something you just said that's just triggered something else, because that's essentially what Bernadette said. You know, it really is. And it's kind of cool to see it from my standpoint come together. Because me and Bernadette go together. We're the type A. Right? Yeah. And I'm proud of you, Liz, because you took that scholarship and you ran with it. And it wasn't something, that's why in order to win it, you have to actually go through the challenge. And because I wanted to go to someone who really was hungry. And you had already showed me you were hungry because you bought the program before you won. So I just want you to say, I'm proud of you. You've made me a proud coach. And yay, everybody say yay, Liz. Thanks, guys. All right. Bye. Oh, I was almost getting ready to hit end meeting, y'all. Oops, as opposed to stop sharing. Nope, I was gonna share my screen. And then, okay, hold on. Okay, get back to the chat. Okay, there we go. All right, so that was my girl, Elizabeth McGonigal. Okay, what's next? All right, so I'm gonna go through for the people who are new and want to get some TJ in your life, and then we're gonna hit the homework, and then we're out. Somebody posted, what time is day 3 ending? This is exactly why I put in the group that day 3 is going to be longer, and take a Red Bull, because I was committed that I wanted you to have everything that you needed on this topic, because I'm telling you, if you don't make this connection and make this shift in your own mind, media is going to be a waste of time, because this is how you show up powerfully and effectively. This is how you do the C of PCP, the confidence, by you settling that I'm here, not for me, because it ain't about me. So a publicist is going to cost you about $6,000 a month. They're going to want a 3-month retainer. So you're going to look at $18,000 on the high end, low end, 2,500 times 3 months. It's not going to have any guarantees. You're going to risk being burned, and they are not responsible for what comes out of your mouth. To work with me on my book, my media tour level is $13,500. But what we're talking about during this week is the system that I use to book my media tour, which you're going to hear from one of those clients on Thursday. You're going to hear from Deshaun Bullard when we talk about serve the audience. I'm going to show you what that looks like practically, because she has a product. So what does that look like when I'm telling you can't go promote the product, you got to serve the audience? So Deshaun's going to be here to tell you about that Thursday. But this is my system. Jennifer says, I'm so glad it was longer. I'm done with Bible study, getting my fix of TJ. I just adore you, Jennifer. But this is the system that I use. The DIY program is the exact system that I use to do this. And I told you yesterday, you can do this. That's why I keep having Maverick show up, so you can see that you can do this. You don't need to be a celebrity. You don't need a huge following. You don't need a publicist. You know that people, they're looking for you because they're telling you they have 30 minutes to do a story, and they're looking for the people who are being vocal and making noise. Amber said, I had my power nap when I thought it was going to be longer. I love it. And you don't need tons of insider connections, because you're looking at the one person who is your insider connection, and she's built a whole system around this. So Media Matters Masters, I'm going to be teaching it live for 10 weeks starting August 16th through August 18th. You're going to have monthly Q&As after that to make sure that you still have connection to me. You'll have continued access into the private Facebook group. After the 19th of November, it just is $29.97 a month, so that you have access to me and continue to take it over and over and over again.
Media Mavericks Masters week 1 is development and location scouting. That's where I'm laying the foundation of where you fit in the media landscape. Then crafting your segment. That is how you're going to take what you figured out, what your lane of expertise is. When you own your genius, we then shape that into a TV segment, a radio segment, a podcast segment, whatever it is. Week 3 is the webinar Q&A. That's where I told you Stacey Pierce, the photographer, she didn't do nothing else. She did the webinar Q&As. Week 4, it's all about the pitch on paper. Here, another tweet says, pitch yourself. This is from NBC producer. Pitch yourselves. And then I told you, I got it confused. I thought Dr. Sandra was coming today. She's actually coming tomorrow. But Dr. Sandra is the one who actually had a publicist for 4 months, didn't get booked on anything. She had some TJ in her life. And in 2 weeks, she booked herself 6 times, herself, just doing the same program. So then, got hung up. Okay. So then it's all about the pitch on the phone. You're going to actually have recordings of me pitching. I'm going to give you the scripts. In the pitch on paper, I'm actually going to give you the template for a good pitch. And you know, my pitches get booked, right? My pitches get booked. And then week 6 is another Q&A webinar. Then week 7 is going live in 3, 2, 1. That is where I teach you how to be a dream guest for the producer. A dream guest for the producer. You get the sweet sauce of all the elements that a producer needs that you keep getting invited back, which is what you heard from Bernadette last night. And then controlling your segment. This is where we talk about where Elizabeth talked about how she wasn't good at drilling it down, and speaking concisely about her genius, about her expertise. So this is where I teach you how to start crafting sound bites that the media devours. And then week 9 is after show what's next. It's what happens for you to leverage media into more media, into more media, into more media. And then finally, the last week is week 10. That's another Q&A where you get to ask me anything. And I don't care if you've not done anything else the whole time. Show up for the Q&As, even if it's the last one. So Media Mavericks Masters normally is $34.97 over on MediaMavericks.tv. It's worth every penny. That's another one I'm gonna add to my arsenal because I should be a rapper. But it's at $34.97. It's totally worth it. But during this season, this window, because I told you guys yesterday, I set a goal for myself after I decided that I no longer wanted to be with my feet planted firmly in Hollywood. I actually decided I was going to get savage with it. And so I'm going for 250 Mavericks by the end of the year. And as such, I'm doing what I want to do to make it happen. I'm teaching it live anyway. So as opposed to $34.97, you can save $1,900 and it's $15.97. You get immediate access to the 2017 program, unless there's some kind of glitch, because we said at the very beginning, we've had a glitch or two along the way, and a couple people didn't get their passwords to the system. But for the most of y'all, you've got access into the system. People have already been diving in and already started. I think it was Cornelia that asked about that earlier. And then after that is only $29.97 per month, billed after that. And then what I told you guys yesterday is you get a single pay of $15.97, or you get a 3 pay of $5.99, because single pay may just not be the option for you guys. So I made it simple. You get $5.99 3 times, and that totals out to $17.97. $15.97 is the investment rate from now until tomorrow when I go live. And then it's going to go up another $100. So use your code, all caps, NMC for Noisemaker Challenge on Tuesday. The website is maverickshine.com, NMC Tuesday. That's the website. And I wanted to mention this because I think she's here. Let me tell you something. What has touched me as far as finding my voice, what has really touched me is that I have not one, but 2 Mavericks who were in my first round, who I said to them when they got on the boat and decided to trust me, and I was only ahead 1 week of teaching the class, These two mavericks, Dr. Lorraine, she's in here. Dr. Lorraine, you tell them if I'm lying. Dr. Lorraine registered when I opened up for the early bird. And I think Linda may be on Facebook. And then I get a note from Reneka screenshotting another maverick who forgot that I had offered them that first round. You get grandfathered in. There she goes, Dr. Lorraine. There's his L. Chapman. That's Dr. Lorraine. I refunded their money because they forgot. But they didn't ask me, you know, how much it is for veteran. They took it again. They both paid the rate it was. That's how I know. Oh, okay, Linda, that's you. So that's how I know what I teach is valuable, because they were willing to pay twice for it. So I'm telling y'all, if it's time to find your voice, this is the time, because the beauty of it is, if you invest at this level and then kick in at the $29.97, you still gonna get access to the next time I teach it live and the next time I teach it live, as long as you are remaining active and you don't have to buy it again. So I'm telling you, take it from them. They were willing to pay twice because they know what's on the other side of this. This, Dr. Lorraine, Linda, tell them, we ain't even scratched the surface of the sweet sauce. I'm just laying foundation this week. And so then, remember yesterday, I'm saying I've gotten so savage with it that I'm saying, I don't want you to do this by yourself. I don't want you to do this by yourself, because it can be overwhelming. So we've created a system where you can actually bring a friend for free. And for those of you who may be new today or listening to the replay, why am I doing it like this? Because I would ask the same thing. If it's a $3,500 program, why would I let it go at $1,597 plus buy one, get one free? And it ain't a deep question. I mean, it ain't a deep answer, because I set a goal. And so one of the strategies that I asked God to show me how I can make this goal happen is he showed me this. Now, after a meeting today, let me tell you something. There is a good chance I will never, ever, never, after this round, I will never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, 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 never, ever do this again. I really won't. I'm not saying I'm sure of it, but right now I know we don't have to, because Dr. Lorraine and Linda invested at a higher level when they enrolled. So I know it's valuable. I've had people pay this. So if you know it is time for you to find your voice, Brenda's another one of my grandfathered in. If it is time for you to find your voice, if anything I've said to you today has resonated, whether you want to do media, whether you don't feel like you're ready to do media, invest in yourself. Get around people who get you. Get around people who understand. We went out loud up in this joint. We do not play small. We do not dim our lights. It is your time. So then $15.97 is a single pay, or $5.99 for a total of $17.97. That's so sweet. Dr. Lorraine said we can't get enough for TJ. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Dr. Lorraine. Code is all caps NMC Tuesday for Noisemaker Challenge. Get immediate access so you don't have to wait till the 16th. But then I'm hitting you with bonuses. Now, let me tell you about these bonuses. Nicole Roberts-Jones is a genius at content. So she can she's developed something specifically for y'all that actually can take take your book and or your expertise and show you how to actually monetize it. Then April Beverly is known as my word stylist. She's one of my mavericks. She did a special training just for the scroll proof subject line. So when we get to me showing you about the elements of a pitch, you got to have a pitch that hooks them, baby. So that's April. She has a whole training of just talking about the subject lines. Then Tawana, I told you about Tawana earlier. Tawana is known as the LinkedIn professor. She did a special training just for y'all of how to get to the producers through LinkedIn. What the tech and Reneka, for whatever reason, this slide is not on here. Reneka, y'all met Reneka. Y'all been engaging with Reneka. She has done she's going to do a training called Stratagasm, because Reneka loves strategy. So she's helping you figure out the systems and the processes. What the tech is Dr. Denise Dennis. She is the one that, some of y'all who had tech issues. She'll be the one that'll be handling that. but she's all about webinars and having the platform to do webinars, which is why she's in here with me, to make sure I don't screw nothing up. And then blogging for business, that's Lakeisha Singletary. Some of y'all heard from Lakeisha when I had her on, of her breaking down Instagram, IG story, IGTV, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, all these other platforms. So y'all know she's a genius, and she's teaching you how to blog for your businesses. So alone, the bonuses are $1,300. So I don't know what else I can do except for the first 2 people tonight. I've opened up my calendar for this week for the first 2 people to jump in and say, yeah, Tish, I need some TJ in my life, and I want a pitch review with you. My pitch reviews are $500. So once we get to that level, and you, did somebody post it in the chat, the link in the chat, Tish or Reneka, did somebody post that for them? So it's easily clickable. I am going to give you the first 2, not 2 teams, the first 2 people. After we go through the pitch, I will give you a pitch review of your pitch. Now, if you need a partner, listen very carefully. Tish, you got that link. Tish, you didn't tell me who won, Tish. I need to give away the winner for tonight's t-shirt during that session of I Am Just. I need to know that too, Tish, before we wrap out. So be dealing with that. And so that after I give the homework, I can tell them that. There is a thread in today's group, in the group, that says, I need a partner. If you need a partner to take advantage of the BOGO because somebody outside of this group don't understand what you're trying to do, go to that group and partner up. It is your responsibility to find your partner, and the link is in the thread that once y'all have partnered up, you can then go to the link and you can check out separately. So ain't nobody responsible for anybody. Ain't no hiccups. You can check out together. And then it also is not slowing you down. If something happens with them, you all can just be accountability partners that have taken advantage of the BOGO that I'm offering. So Tish is going to, or Reneka, because Tish may be trying to find my winner. Somebody post that in the chat for that thread. And it's going to be in your emails too as well. But it should be already up in the group. So again, $15.97 or 3 payments of $5.99 each. It's going to go away tomorrow. It will go up tomorrow, $100. So I would suggest you leap, because I'm especially not going to actually do this BOGO. I probably will never do this BOGO again. And don't forget that the first 2 people will get me. All right, so the homework while Tish is, okay. What did she say, Tish? We may have to be, yeah, because we may need to be specific, Tish, because that's the common name. All right, so the homework while Tish is doing that. The first thing is you're going to do is you're going to ask 3 people, and this is going to be spelled out clearly in your oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. This is going to be spelled out clearly in your homework. You're going to go to 3 people and ask them, what do they think you're good at? What is your strong points? When they think of you, what do they think of that brings a smile to their faces? What are you good at? The second thing you're going to do is a beast declaration. This is going to be a video. And for me, beast is, when I say I'm a beast in the media streets, I mean, I am be extraordinary at serving and teaching. I think I'm extraordinary at this. That's why I'm a beast at it. I'm extraordinary at serving and teaching. What is that for you? And this is going to be a video that does not need to be longer than 60 seconds, because I won't have time to watch more than 60 seconds. And you're going to post this on your in public and in the squad. And it's going to say, this is what my example is. I am a beast at this media game. Because of my gift, authors, experts, coaches, and consultants learn how to blow up their business, books, and brands using the power of the media, because I teach them how to book themselves without a publicist or without being a celebrity. And they learn to crush the interview so they can become a producer or editor's dream. What is that for you? Jennifer says I'm a beast at acronyms. Yeah, I'm a beast at that too. What is that for you? It has to be no longer than 60 seconds, because I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. I spent 20 years working in television, watching videos all day. The last thing I really want to do is watch a video. That's just not how I consume my information. I'd rather read long posts. I'd rather read emails, but it's hard for me to sit down and watch a video. So for this to be counted, it has to be less than 60 seconds. It must be shared on your page with the hashtags I'm going to give you so I can find them. It must be shared on your page. 60 seconds video. Then what are you tagged in? We've talked about that. I want you to go through your social media and find out, what are you tagged in? And then 4 is a social media check. Producers are coming to social media looking for you. Make sure ain't nothing crazy. Make sure you ain't cussing folks out. If a producer comes and looks at my Facebook page, I tell you, they're going to laugh, but they're going to see she's serious about media. She's serious about her calling. She's serious about who her dear future hubby is. She's serious about some men's shoes, and she got an alter ego named G that is kind of cray-cray. But you need to go through your social media and make sure it's on par with what you want to communicate if a producer comes and checks you out. Let me tell you something. If somebody reaches out and wants to work with me, before I can even finish the sentence, Reneka has built me a dossier on who that person is. So people are looking. Make sure your social media game is tight. And then the 5th one is our normal one, your takeaways for today. Takeaways for today. Okay. The winner of today's I Am a Noisemaker shirt is my Kim. Tish says, we can see what your last name was, but it's the one who wrote, I'm just a mom with one hand. That is who she chose for today. So Tish, do you want to post the link, or Kim, inbox Kendra, your service, I can't do nothing about your service because you always freeze. Okay. So I can't do nothing about it. Everybody else said we good. So you got to maybe watch the replay, Pumpkin. Kim Stumbo. Okay, gotcha. So inbox Tish so she can send you the link to get your information about your shirt. And then the last homework is the takeaways. All right. So it's going to come in your emails broken down. And this is the final thing I'm going to say good night. So when you're thinking about all the days, when you're thinking about even that negative chatter that's happening in your hand, this is one of my favorite quotes from Theodore Roosevelt. And he says, it's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. In other words, I'm not looking for the haters. I'm not looking for the people who are on the sidelines. I'm not paying attention to the person who's like, oh, well, you could have done that better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually, or the woman, to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs. Remember, we talked about it. We're going to own our mistakes. Who errs, who comes short again and again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, not talk about them, do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, that's TJ all day, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause. This free Noisemaker challenge is a worthy cause to me, who at the best knows in the end of the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if she fails, at least, this is my favorite part, at least fails while daring greatly. I have found my voice. I have owned my genius. So if I fail, it won't be because I did not dare greatly. I did not stand on the sidelines. I did not shrink. I did not dim my light for the days, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory or defeat. That's my heart. That's my expertise. I'm done. I'm empty. Reneka, Tish, they take over for now because I got to go decompress because I have laid it all out on the line for y'all. And I want you to find your voice. I want you to own your genius. And I want you to make some noise for the people you are called to serve. All right. So good night, good night, good night, good night. I love y'all. Thanks for hanging, staying close. I told you we were going to go long, so it wasn't, we should be maybe close to back on track tomorrow, but I will not shortchange you, especially if God puts something on my heart. Reneka says reminder. Oh, hold on. Reneka says reminder. What's the reminder, Reneka? Reminder, I guess, that the 1597 goes away tonight. It goes away tomorrow. Don't forget there's a partner thread that you're going to look for if you need a partner, if you're ready to leap at 1597. Tish says the post is in the group. The reminder is we are going through and vetting folks who are sent requests to join Mavericks, because sometimes your name is different than what you registered under. So we're vetting the process to make sure you get entry into the group. So that should happen momentarily. Somebody may be reaching out to you to make sure that you've paid so you can get to the group. So with that said, I'm hungry. I'm going to go and get some food. I'll see y'all tomorrow, or I'll see you in the Facebook group. Bye, y'all.